Well, thanks for joining us in this segment tonight here on Decision 2010. Joining us at this time is UNC Deputy Political Leader Dr. Suraj Ramachan. Dr. Ramachan, what shape is the UNC in? It is 5 weeks from now, 5 weeks from tonight, in fact. The polls will be closed. The votes will be being counted at the time. What shape is the UNC in 5 weeks before this election?
The UNC is in really good shape. In fact, had it not been in good shape, we would not have been able to cause the government to collapse, as it did within 2.5 years of being elected with a 26-15 majority.
Some people would challenge you on that, saying that it can't be in good shape when we're not even sure what this deal is that the UNC has negotiated with the COP, the TOP, NJAC, the Movement for Social Justice. People don't seem to know the details of that. Are you not concerned about it?
And people will hear the details of it on the platform, and they will hear it from the lips of our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and the other leaders. It is a very sustainable arrangement that has been arrived at, a partnership, an equal partnership in which there is mutual respect for each other and in which all the partners in the society are going to be equally involved. I think what is causing a great scare and a nightmare for the PNM and Mr. Manning is that Kamla has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that she is the magnet for unity, and that she has been able to bring together the trade unions, bring together other political groupings, and the COP and UNC together.
But the analysts are saying point blank that this unity can't be trusted, that it's fickle, it's superficial. According to Mustafa Abdul Hamid, he's described it as dysfunctional, what's going on in the UNC and their relationship with the other parties. What do you have, or do you have any guarantee that this, like most other coalitions, as Mr. Manning has been building a case, simply won't fall apart during the course of the election or soon after?
It will not fall apart. Nobody makes the same mistakes they made twice. And in fact, this is built around a new leader, a leader with vision, a leader who knows how to harmonize, a leader who knows how to build consensus, a leader who is collaborative. And those were the things that were missing in the past. And Kamla Persad-Bissessar is proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that she's capable of that. That is why, within 2 months of becoming the opposition leader, she was able to put on the same platform at the Voice of the Rally all those groups who have never yet united on a political platform under a political leader. That speaks something about the strength of this coalition.
So you're saying there are no issues between all these parties?
The issues have been resolved, and we are moving forward. And that is, as I said, that is what is breeding nightmares for Mr. Manning. He can't sleep because of that.
So all of these rumors about walkouts with the COP factions and stuff, did any of that materialize? Is there agreement on everything then, you're saying?
Mr. Manning might have gotten wrong information from the vision of his prophetess.
Dr. Ramachan, what about the fact that the seats, when voters go to the polls, who exactly are they voting for? Have you worked out in terms of who is going to contest what seats? All of this is going to be announced by when? Time is running out.
Tonight, our political leader is going to reveal that on the platform, and she's going to tell you the number of seats the UNC is fighting. She's going to tell you the number of seats the other groups are fighting, and how that is going to be worked out.
So the leaders of all these other parties, the leaders of the COP, let's start with,
yes.
What has been guaranteed for his cooperation? For cooperation, surely there must be some reciprocity. What role will Winston Dukran play should the UNC form this government?
Winston Dukran is the most important person in this society. Winston Dukran, intellectually and otherwise, has contributed to this society in a most profound way. Winston Dukran has given vision to the society by all his speeches, even when he was a member of parliament, governor of the central bank, and continues to be a political leader. And in the government that's going to be formed on May 25th, in which Kamla is going to be the Prime Minister, Winston Dukran will have a most important place in that government.
President?
We cannot speak about president because, of course, there are constitutional arrangements for president. But Winston Dukran will have a most important place in the government on May 25th.
What about the criticism from Prime Minister Patrick Manning, the political leader of the ruling party right now, that Winston Dukran is indecisive, that Winston Dukran is spineless, that Winston Dukran is weak?
Winston Dukran is a very patient, rational human being who thinks through very carefully all the sides of his decisions before he makes them. And sometimes you need that kind of balancing force. You need that kind of stability in terms of political decision making. And he brings to bear a strength, therefore, in terms of that capacity to this coalition.
What about Ashworth Jack now, TOP? They will be contesting the 2 Tobago seats. What plan, or has there been a promise to him?
Ashworth Jack is the most important partner also. Tobago has not experienced the kind of autonomy that Tobago needs to experience, and they'll never experience it under the PNM. And the UNC alliance government will, in fact, give to Tobago the kind of autonomy and the resources they need to be an equal partner between Trinidad and Tobago.
And the Labour parties, Errol MacLeod, David Abdullah.
The labour movement has suffered under the PNM. They have suffered very badly. We have seen the attempt by the PNM to dismantle the Custom and Excise, the Board of Inland Revenue. We know the threats that now looming over the heads of 15,000 local government workers and their families, which will amount to about 75,000 people altogether. We know about the poor working conditions under which CPEP workers work. We know about the on and off URP type program and so on. And what we intend to do is to utilize the experience of our labor partners in order to formulate policies that will be in the interest of the working class, because you cannot develop a society unless the working class in the society feels that their needs are taken care of and that they too are considered to be equal partners and develop and that they share in the wealth of the country.
So should the election take place and these men go into the election but they don't win their seats, yet the UNC manages by some other margin to win a seat, will there be a role or a place for these men?
We haven't agreed on a partnership, and we intend to carry through with this partnership before the elections and after elections and into the next number of elections in Trinidad, because we believe there will be a very complex society in which the interest groups of the many have to be taken into consideration. And what has happened in the past is that you have had an adversarial role between government and the people. So it has always been business versus labor, government versus the people. In the case of the PNM, it is government versus the people. And we want to end that. If you do not end that kind of conflict in the society, you're never going to progress in the society.
But the PNM got up on the platform the other day again, political leader Patrick Melling, and he asked some specific questions. What about who is going to be your Minister of Finance? Who is going to be your Minister of National Security? Are you concerned about those specifics? Will you be working them out already?
Has Mr. Manning in any election ever before he set up his cabinet declared who was going to be what? We know he was going to be Prime Minister. Now we know that he's not going to be Prime Minister, and we know that his government is not going to be in office after May 24th. What we do know is that we have a prime ministerial candidate who will be head of the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago, and she will, along with the partners, decide on the cabinet position. But remember, she is the first among equals, and she will be picking the best people. She has shown that determination, and she's shown that she has the capacity to pick right people.
Let's talk about this as well. The UNC is right now being described by Mustafa Abdul Hamid as a dysfunctional family. He's making fair weather, heavy weather actually, of your relationship with Jack Warner. He said it on the political platform. How could you trust any party where Suraj Ramachan and Jack Warner hate each other? How do you respond to that?
Can you trust the PNM where Dr. Rowley and Mr. Manning makes up for the sake of an election? How will Dr. Rowley go out and face the population and defend Calder Hart? And what will he say to Mr. Manning, who crushed him in the parliament and who brutalized him in the parliament? I really wonder about the integrity of Dr. Rowley and Mr. Manning in this newfound bed partners.
So there have been convenient bed partners on that side as well. But what about yours? What about you and Jack Warner?
Jack Warner and myself have a common vision. And the common vision is not just to remove the PNM, but to bring back good governance to Trinidad and Tobago. What has happened, that is gone. And we were part of the, in fact, negotiation team, and we worked there for 4 nights to get this thing together with Dr. Rudal Munilal. And we have an excellent relationship now, and you're going to see that manifest in the campaign, after the campaign, and in government.
So the hatchet has been buried.
Hatchet has been buried.
And you trust Jack Warner? You once said categorically you forgive him,
Mr.
but
Jack
you don't
Warner
trust him.
has worked out his relationship with me, and I have worked out my relationships with him. There's common understanding, but we share a common vision. What is important is this country, not the individual.